There's a lot of revisionist history around 40 Smith& Wesson. People act like it was a mistake, that it never made sense. That's not true. 40 Smith& Wesson didn't rise by accident, and it didn't fall because it failed. Today we're breaking down the rise and fall of 40 Smith& Wesson and why it mattered. Welcome back to Glockaholic 76. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like this video at the end, hit that like button. It helps us get seen by more people just like you. To understand 40 Smith& Wesson, you have to go back to the late 1980s. All these pistols are clear. There is no ammunition anywhere on the table. And there's no magazines anywhere on the table today. The FBI wanted better terminal performance. 9mm loads at the time were inconsistent. 10mm auto proved too much for a lot of shooters. So 40 Smith & Wesson was the compromise. More energy than a 9mm, less recoil than a 10mm, and it fit into the 9mm frame-sized pistols. And manufacturers jumped on it immediately. 40 Smith & Wesson hit at the perfect moment. Agencies wanted more perceived stopping power, and departments wanted that uniform duty ammo. Training standards at the time favored caliber over shot placement. So Glock, Smith & Wesson, and SIG delivered. The Glock 22 became the duty pistol. And for years, it worked. It did the job. It was in every holster in almost every department or every agency across the nation. Something that gets glossed over is at the time, 40 Smith & Wesson offered better barrier performance. It offered heavier bullets at higher energy. The capacity didn't change all that much on the firearms. More consistent expansion with the 40 Smith & Wesson bullets at the time compared to some of that older bullet tech that was available. In its era, 40 Smith & Wesson made sense. It solved real problems. Departments could have your Glock 22 as your service weapon, or you could have something maybe your detectives would carry, your let's say your Glock 23, and then you can have your ankle pistol Glock 27 or your backup gun or even your off-duty gun. And magazines were interchangeable. You had very, very potent round that could get the job done. But with the 40 Smith & Wesson came some trade-offs. You did have the sharper recoil. You did have slower follow-up shots. And although your everyday shooter may not notice it, there is increased wear on the pistol when using the 40 Smith & Wesson round. And most importantly, 40 Smith & Wesson, it costs more. Over long range time, shooting a lot of training rounds and whatnot, you're going to have faster shooter fatigue on something like this. And unfortunately, it resulted in lower qualification scores for a lot of law enforcement agencies and departments over time, and that didn't help. 40 Smith & Wesson itself didn't fail. It just demands more from the shooter and from the agencies. And as we all know, some of those government agencies, it's all about getting less with more or more with less. Don't know how you would say it there. Then two things changed everything. 9mm bullets started being designed and improved dramatically. Training philosophy shifted back to shot placement as opposed to caliber size. Suddenly, 9mm could do the job with less recoil and lower cost. And That's when agencies and departments started doing the math. All of a sudden, 9mm wasn't weaker anymore, and it ended up being more efficient, more cost efficient. 40 Smith& Wesson isn't dead. 40 caliber pistols are very, very affordable on the used market now. Police trade-ins are plentiful, and there's a lot of shooters out there that still prefer the feel when you shoot a 40 Smith& Wesson over a 9 or some other calibers. It's just no longer the default, and that's okay. 40 Smith& Wesson wasn't a mistake. It was a solution for its time. It rose because it worked, and it faded because the world changed. That's just not a failure. It's evolution. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more Glockaholic 76, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. If you like this video, like it. If you didn't, don't. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you carry a 40 Smith & Wesson pistol today? Is it your preferred round of choice, or do you have better feelings and more confidence around another caliber? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious if 40 Smith & Wesson has fallen out of favor with you, or if it's definitely something that you carry every single day. I know I get a lot of questions in some of my videos that this Glock 27 is a popular choice for a lot of individuals as far as your concealed carry market goes. Some people still carry your full size 22 or your 23, but let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. As always, I appreciate you watching my video. Train smart, shoot often. Glockaholic 76. Talk to you soon.